All right, welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, May.
And I'm Laura Sogar. What are we talking about today, May?
Oh, wow. Okay, so today on the podcast, we are discussing Canadian Bitcoin exchange Quadriga CX and the possible death, disappearance, hoax of their founder, Jerry Cotton.
Jerry, where you at? Where'd you go?
Potentially dead, potentially not. People have a lot of theories. We'll get into
Jerry,
all of them. We're going to have fun.
Jerry, you're 100% invited on the podcast if you're listening. All right, enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold
from
on.
that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this? This week's episode of Risque Business News is brought to you by Bunny Coffee.
Bunny Coffee. I'm obsessed with coffee, and this shit looks legit.
It is legit. It's straight out of Oaxaca.
Mexico. They have mezcal there.
They do have mezcal there.
So
Yeah.
is there a cross-branding section here?
I don't know.
I love
One
mezcal,
binds
so
me up, one makes me poop. That could be interesting. It comes from award-winning and innovative farms in Oaxaca, run by some dude named Enrique Lopez. You guys know him.
Yeah, he sounds like he knows what's going on.
He really does. Bunny Coffee. You can get 10% off at bunnycoffee.com/RB10.
Amazing. Enjoy. All right, May, we're back. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, one of my favorite topics. But
Oh, yeah, good times.
What have you been getting into? What's
You
going on
know,
with your life?
a lot and nothing at the same time. I'll do a little plug, actually. I'm going to be in London next. I'm going to be in Boston this week, but I'm not doing any shows. But next week, I'm going to London from the 23rd through the 26th, and I'm going to do some shows out there. So follow me on Instagram to catch me if you live in across the pond. And then the 27th, I'll be at the AC Comedy Club, and that's Atlantic City. Ever heard of it? And then after that, I will be at Rogue Island Comedy Festival. So in terms of traveling, holy shit.
You are out and about. Hope you don't get sick.
I will. I actually was just talking to Mark about this earlier. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm not going to get sick.
Yeah.
I just hope, do I have to take a COVID test to get back from London here? Because what if I fail it? Then I'm just stuck there.
Well, let me know, because I will be going to London quite literally 3 days after May returns.
So annoying. I know.
So follow me on Instagram for all that nonsense. And yeah.
We got to figure out what to do with our cats.
Well, they're going to have camp.
Yeah.
They're gonna have cat camp. Greg and Password, follow them also online, because of course we do that.
Right.
They famously have cat camps where they hang out together.
This will be a long one.
Yeah, that's like that's summer camp.
That's a 2-parter summer camp.
Yeah, it is. That's 2 locations.
Yeah. Well, anyway, best of luck to the cats. But yeah.
So you're gonna be traveling a lot. I've been traveling a lot as well. I just got back from Cabo. Was there for a full week, which is too long.
Yeah.
That is way too long to be in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Tourist trap central. Let me tell you that.
You know what,
Beautiful, but tourist trap.
Margaritaville is a good time. Can I say that?
There isn't even one there.
There
There wasn't even a Margaritaville. And I was like, why am I here? I don't understand.
What's the purpose?
What's the purpose of being here?
Where is Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville?
No, I did comedy down there. So if you live in Cabo and wanted to see that, you missed it. My bad. But I did it for a bunch of expats. And that was a really interesting scenario.
Expats?
Yeah.
Like people, I feel like if people move, well, I guess you're right. I don't know.
I know. It's like kind of like the version of expat always sounds so like, ooh, like foreign and like sexy and kind of cool, you know?
Right.
And these were just like retirees in Mexico.
Right.
They were just kind of like not really my demographic. We had fun. We had a good time, but they were like, you're scaring us. And I was like, you scare me.
That's what you want out of a
this is
comedy
a win-win.
I think we already talked about this on pod, but when I went to St. Thomas, there was a bunch of like expat bartenders that you would run into, and they were all super fucking mean.
What?
Yeah.
They're like, we've seen it all, lady.
And I'm like, I thought that you're like living your retirement dream down here being a bartender on the beach, and instead you're just like yelling at us.
Do you think it's because they retired from like a bar in New York where they had to like keep their shit together, and now they're down there and they can just like live their truth, which is just being an asshole? Because
Maybe.
honestly, that sounds really nice.
Maybe that's their heaven. Just complaining.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Just yelling at patrons, but making them they're still going to buy the margarita.
I mean, what are my options? Not having an
Exactly. And they're aware.
Yeah.
Supply and demand.
It's insane. So Bitcoin took a whole little
Yeah, Bitcoin. All
ride
right.
down to hell.
What is going on? To be honest, I don't know. It's been there's a lot of different conspiracies that I've seen kind of pop up on my Twitter. One of the next episode, we will be doing a deeper dive into what's going on with Bitcoin because guess who's involved?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Guys, the beacon of my life. I feel like he's my son and I revolve around him, Elon Musk.
Oh my gosh. At this point, me too.
At this point, I need to interact with this man at some point. I have spent hours and hours reading on things on him.
Truly.
I love him. I hate him. All of the above. But he is deeply involved in this whole Bitcoin thing because of Tesla, etc. And now, as we know, he is potentially backing out of the Twitter deal. I was just like, my guy.
We did a whole episode on this, Elon. You can't
the
do
whole
this to
world.
us.
The whole world did a whole episode on multiple. Every news site is just like, "What are you doing, man? We put you on the cover of magazines."
I'm obsessed with the fact that he has his finger on every single like big societal thing right now. Like he's even involved in the Amanda Heard, or what's her name?
Yeah,
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. Yeah. Did he ever take this stage?
No, I don't think so. The stage. That's one way to say it. That's what she's doing.
Feels like it, right?
But I actually watched it for the first time today, like the live feed, and oh my God, regardless of how you feel about whose side you're on or whatever, Johnny's lawyer is so smart. I was like very impressed.
Really?
She's doing an amazing job, I gotta say.
And it's a woman.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that was very
sexist.
intentional.
Oh,
And it's a woman.
Wow, guys. I can say that because I'm usually fairly feminist, but just going to tell you.
She is so talented.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. We stand.
Yeah, it was really good. And then her lawyer, on the other hand,
I've
is
heard
terrible.
Is it a man?
No, it's a woman.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Finish the picture. Oh well.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a crazy thing going. Obviously, everyone's talking about this yada yada, but like, wow, it really like sucks you in. It's insane.
Well, I'm bummed that my boy Elon couldn't make an appearance, but he's been quite busy. So
yeah, he's got things going on. He's got better things going on than that broad. She is like this is really mean to say. We're just off the rails already being anti-feminist, but the work that she has had done on her face, I'm like, girl, like you have resources. You look so puffy. You look so bad.
it is so unfortunate because she did that gradually over time,
and she doesn't realize how it's
in her mind. She looks great.
Yeah, and then if you see
it's
the
so unfortunate.
The old clips of her from like, yeah, it was 6 years ago. Like that's a big difference between, 6 years is a long time, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was just like, wow, you look like a totally different person.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And especially like her job is to have people evaluate and be like, hey, you're good for this role or not. And now they're probably all like, well, you're a puff.
Right.
So what could you play?
I also think she's intentionally not wearing mascara because it just makes her look like a little bit less intimidating and things like that. So or whatever. I don't know. That's definitely like a thing. Like if you ever see like a celebrity apologize for something, they usually have no makeup on.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a tactic. But I'm just like, oh, you just look so dull on the stage. You gotta amp it up, Amber.
She's been very modest and like always looks very sad up there.
Right,
Every picture,
right.
she just looks so like she's gonna cry.
I'm sure that's obviously
like,
a tactic.
She's not that bad of an actress, guys. Like, I mean, like, keep an eye out.
Yeah. Yeah, her lawyers are dropping the ball like crazy. So that stinks for her, but anyway.
No, she's gonna lose. Or she'll win. I don't know.
I think
Here's my hot take on this. She might lose or she might win.
Well, I think it could go either way, but I think the court of public opinion has I think it's like 70-30 in favor of him from what I've seen online.
Sure.
Anyway.
No one ever asked me on those polls. I have never once been like, what's my opinion? Everyone's like 80% of people and I'm like, when's my turn to be involved?
That's so true. I love that meme going around that's it's like, I am a dentist. I've met hundreds of dentists. No one has ever asked us our opinion on toothpaste. It's very funny.
I disapprove of that toothpaste.
Right.
2 out of 10 disapprove.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, I don't want to harp on that because people have their opinions, yada yada. So moving on. JetBlue is doing a hostile takeover of Spirit Airlines.
Yes, read about that this morning. We should probably do a deeper dive into that at some point because I'm really curious as to why you would ever want to buy Spirit Airlines.
Maybe their roots, but like, why wouldn't JetBlue just have...
Spirit Airlines is... You should buy Greyhound bus. Like, that's quite literally a better brand.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting on lawn chairs in the sky.
It's terrifying.
Right.
It's terrifying.
It's insane. You know what's kind of interesting is that obviously, like, there's been a bunch of people getting in fights on airplanes, like, the past few years, which has been really quite a phenomenon. But anyway, I've noticed like a lot of times it's on United flights or that was like the big one, the United flight, and then like Delta flights. I'm like, where are the Spirit Airlines people? They're all behaving?
No, they're definitely just fighting all the time, so it's not news.
That's true.
They're just like, oh, like obviously. I mean, they obviously are just kicking and screaming, but we just didn't figure you'd want that every day on your news, you know?
Right. Remember I think this was like a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where somebody uploaded a TikTok where there was this Christian band singing in the aisles. Remember this?
I did not remember this.
Yeah.
What airline was that?
I don't
was not
remember.
Fly
I think
Emirates.
it was like I think it was an international flight.
That deserved more credit.
What did you say? Emirates?
It's not Fly Emirates.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely not. Yeah, that was what everyone was saying. They were like, can you imagine if like another religion was doing... And it's like, yeah, no kidding. That's insane.
Yeah, that's...
It's insane for
I mean, everyone, even Christians are like, please stop.
So insane. So that'll be interesting. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep you posted on all this. JetBlue hostile takeover seems exaggerated, but go for it. I don't know why again. And yeah, what's your story today? Let's get into it.
All right, let's talk about my story. Okay, so I am going to be talking about Quadriga CX. Okay.
Don't know what that is.
Great. So
you tell me.
Basically, it was a cryptocurrency exchange in Canada.
Okay.
And it was founded by this dude that you're looking at right here, 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿.
He looks like he'd be singing in the aisles on that Christian.
He does.
You know what I mean? He looks like he'd be with his wife. Oh, is that his wife or is it daughter?
That's his wife.
Oh, yikes.
It's his wife. Huh. You know what, though? He was only 30.
Really?
Yeah, so... Age-appropriate wife, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, she looks like 23. And if he's 30, that's fair. But men, I feel like men age in brackets and women age like year by year.
Yeah.
Like I can be like, she looks 23.
Or like 26.
And he looks 30 to 45.
That's true. That's so true. Yeah. Well, anyway, I remember one time Mark asked me, he was like, I think people think I'm like 28. I was like, I can assure you nobody thinks that.
No, I can't tell you how old Mark is because it's between 30 to 40. That's what his bracket is now.
And you're correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is somewhere in that.
It is.
It is north. It's in the north quadrant of that. But yes. Okay, so who's this Gerald Cotton guy? So he attended what the hell is that? Slolich School of Business at York University at Toronto. It's probably like a famous business school. I'm too much of a dumbass to even know what it is.
Yeah, you're like, it's in another country?
Yeah.
So,
and he lived in Ontario. He graduated from York with a Bachelor of Business Administration in 2010, and he learned about Bitcoin in Toronto and traveled to Vancouver, where he founded Quadriga in November 13th with a man named Michael Patron. Spoiler alert, is that his name? We'll see.
Is this going to be like that one where the business guy disappeared?
It's so much crazier than that.
What? How?
It's unbelievable. Get ready,
This is a plug
dude.
for one of our episodes. I don't even remember what that one was.
It was called 1-800-EXCHANGE.
Yeah, 1-800 Ed Shin. Oh.
Ed Shin, yeah, and this guy murdered. Oh, now I'm giving away the whole fucking episode, but he murdered his business partner. Anyway, still listen to it. Thank you. Like and subscribe. So he came across I watched this documentary about him, and he came across extremely upbeat, positive. He was always like smiling to a weird degree, where it seems like almost like
he looks scary. Just that one picture, I'm already like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want your Bible.
And he had a bunch of YouTube clips that he would put up that would be doing stupid stuff. Like he would put like a marshmallow in a microwave and be like, oh, let's see how big it... Like it was like really like playful, like...
Okay, that's fine.
That's a bad example. I mean, he did more creative stuff than that, but like things of that nature.
Okay. So like simple little gags for content.
Pretty much,
We get it.
So he was just like seen as like this goofy, affable, like... Just like a big little like squish.
Sure.
So people liked that about him. So basically he created this cryptocurrency exchange, and it's how you would exchange Bitcoin and dollars. And so they essentially like bid on each other. It's like essentially like a stock exchange for Bitcoin, but then at the same time you can pull your money out. So like if you have a bunch of Bitcoin and you need to extract it for dollars, you can do so through this currency exchange, and they take a percentage.
Okay. Seems like a currency exchange would be at the airport to do pesos to dollars.
Right, exactly.
Similar, but for Bitcoin.
Right.
Sure.
And so a lot of people saw him.
reasonable.
They were like super excited about him because they thought that he was going to be like a leader in Bitcoin, and really like running the charge. And he's like interviewed in a lot of these panels and stuff. And people are like, what do you think about this,
Yeah,
Gerald?
done a ton of conferences.
Right. Yeah.
Bitcoin really loves conferences. Let me tell you that.
They
South by
do.
Southwest is brought to you by Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Formerly. Now they can't afford it.
So in 2014, he explained in an interview that the company stored customer funds on paper wallets in safe deposit boxes. So we send the money to them. We don't need to go back into the bank every time that we want to put money into it. And we just send the money from our Bitcoin app directly to those paper wallets and keep it safe that way. I'm like, what? Sure. Great.
Yeah. My brain just went white noise.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paper.
So in 2015, Quadriga had 4 employees, and they ran out of money by June of 2015. So,
Wait.
yeah.
Was that because he was just at conferences the whole time? They were like, you actually do have to show up to work?
I guess so. So essentially, they had raised. Sorry, I like skipped over an important part. They had raised, together with Michael Patron, they raised $850,000, which is like not
a ton, but it's
not a ton.
Should be more than 4 months. God damn. Wow.
Yeah, and then they were kaput. So basically in 2016, Gerald became the sole director of Quadriga when the other directors resigned. And it had, other than a few contractors, it had no employees, offices, or bank accounts thereafter. So basically it was just, I don't even know what the fuck it was operating on. It was very confusing to me, but...
Was he just scamming investors? That's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Not investors, the actual people putting the money into the Bitcoin exchange.
Even worse.
Yeah. So pretty crazy shit. And then so he had a ton of people putting their money in, putting into obviously the exchange, and a lot of people had their Bitcoin money in there. He was living extremely lavishly, extremely. So he like owned a boat. He was getting planes. He was doing the whole fucking rigmarole. He was traveling around like 5-star resorts with his wife, who nobody even met her, by the way. I feel like I'm like skipping ahead a little bit, but yeah, there's.
So he was living it up, being like successful CEO, even though he hadn't really built a product yet or a business model that made any money.
I mean, I think it did make money. That's the thing that's so puzzling about all of this, and where people like really went off the rails was like, if he just did what he said he was going to do, like he could have made like a really good amount of money. But instead, he did something else.
Okay. Well, now good lead up. Like what happened? Let's hear it.
All right, let's hear it. Okay, cool. So in the documentary, basically, it explains what it does and how he was a leader and blah blah blah, and what Quadriga's like, function is, blah blah blah. So
even the name, I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my god.
Quadriga, I couldn't tell you what that does.
So in the documentary, then it pans to this guy named Tong, and he is like, yes. So he is somebody who has used Quadriga's services. Okay, there's Tong. He's just like down on his luck. Poor Tong.
Okay. Oh, okay. So he's example customer. Is he real?
He's example customer. Yes, he's real.
Oh.
This is a real documentary. So this guy is a real guy. So this actually happened to him. So he was interviewed in the documentary. Essentially, he put his life savings of $400,000 worth of Bitcoin into Quadriga with the intention to immediately sell it to get money out immediately.
Oh no.
The request had been received. The money never came. Before we continue, a word from our sponsor. Risque Business News is brought to you by Breakshot Pool. There's a new mobile game out there. It's called Breakshot Pool. It's an app for iOS and Android. Breakshot Pool is the only pool game on the App Store specifically designed to be played between real-life friends like you and me, Laura.
That's pretty dope.
Sometimes you need a little break, and this is a perfect game for that. Breakshot Pool is a fun and perky turn-based game that is completely non-intrusive, no annoying ads, or forced in-app purchases. Many players have called it the Words with Friends of Pool.
Oh,
So that's a lot of fun.
very popular game.
With Breakshot Pool, you can play pool with your friends without needing to be online at the same time. When a friend plays, you get a notification that it's your turn and you can play back whenever you feel like it. So kind of like texting. The game is free and in-app purchases are completely optional. So even if you don't consider yourself a gamer or a huge pool fan, check it out. You'll see how fun it is. Many non-gamers have already been enjoying it, which is pretty cool. I'm non-gamer. I love it. And I hate games. It's a great way to connect with friends, especially since many of us are stuck working from home and, across the country and all that kind of stuff. This game gives little fun breaks from it all. Breakshot Pool is available on iOS and Android, and iOS and Android can even play each other.
Oh,
so
shit.
if you have a poor friend with a green bubble, you
but
can
a better
still play
camera for whatever reason. Risque Business News listeners who download the game will get a variety of in-game goodies for free to make your experience even better. So go to the Apple or Android App Store and search for Breakshot Pool. That's Breakshot, one word, Breakshot, BREAKSHOT, and Pool, POOL. One more time, Breakshot Pool. Link is going to be in the description. Download the game, invite your friends, show off your skills, send your reactions to each other. The developers are big fans of the pod. We really appreciate them and would love to get Risque Business News fans to connect with this cute game on their phones. Hell yeah. So please do this. Give yourself a little break. Try out this free game. As listeners of the pod, you're getting free goodies. The whole thing is free, so give it a try today. Available on iOS and Android. Link in the description. Breakshot Pool. What's your... how do you customer success? Where are you at?
Right.
Hello.
So
That's not cool.
Yeah. So Tong is like starting to sweat. He's like, oh, what? This is a lot of money, and I have no other money, and that was everything that I fucking had. So he's like, okay, this is like weird. So he's writing in. They're responding these like very like PR, messages back. What I found interesting was, obviously, like the Bitcoin, it like follows a lot of people that are like heavily into Bitcoin. People with Bitcoin and heavily into Bitcoin, like they are so not trusting people. So I'm like,
right.
Tong, my guy, put in 10,000 and see if it gets back to you.
Well, also I would imagine that the platform had been verified or like people used it, and
it had been working. Yeah.
So this was just the first time it like didn't work. And
yes,
Tong just
for a
got
lot
unlucky.
of people. And there's a few people interviewed that were like, wait, what? Where the fuck is my money? I'm trying to get it out. They couldn't get it out.
Oh, no.
So people are starting to panic.
Yeah,
So
that's absolutely terrifying.
this is in 2018. So a business reporter for the Globe and Mail, which I guess is a Canadian newspaper. I was like, what the fuck is that? They can't get
Again, it's another country, so I have no idea.
I'm like, they can't get a more legit newspaper to talk about this.
I think that's... I think that might be a decent one, but all right.
I think it's like the New York Times of Canada, and I'm shitting on it.
You're like, come on, Canada. You get a New York Times, they're like, we have our own New York. It's
Yeah.
Toronto. What the hell?
The failing Globe and Mail, as DJT would say. Okay, so they start getting emails saying that they can't get their money out of Quadriga. And so this is like seen as a legitimate Bitcoin operation in Canada. So everyone's excited about it. They're like, whoa. So the email's asking if they can tell them what's going on. The business reporter emails the company Quadriga asking to see what's going on. She got a response from Jerry himself that said that the bank had frozen their money because they don't trust crypto. Okay. So then she seemed convinced at this explanation and added that he seemed like a super nice guy.
Okay.
So that was 2018. And at the time, Jerry was traveling like a lunatic, like absolutely fucking crazy. He was all over, like everywhere that he went. He also wouldn't tell people where he was. So if he was like, hey, I'm in Costa Rica, but don't fucking tell anyone I'm here, and I'm leaving for somewhere else tomorrow. So he was being like really secretive. So now people are speculating, like, was he running from someone in particular?
Okay.
Was he running from paper trails?
Wait, I'm sorry. Did Tong get his money back?
No.
So he just got... Wait, so Tong is just fucked.
Tong is fucked. Okay.
And he's still... Oh,
I'm like, get it through your head,
He's
Laura.
He's running from Tong. I want to...
Listen.
I'm going to go run after this guy on Tong's behalf.
So I should also say that Tong had invested sometime in December of 2018. So then January 14th of 2019, it is announced online that 𝐂𝐎𝐿 has died while traveling in India at the age of just 30. So his wife, Jennifer Robertson, confirmed the death. And so everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? At this point, all these people have all these like Reddit threads going. They're like, where's our money? Where's our money? And then this gets posted and they're like, you've got to be kidding me.
That is so frustrating.
Right.
I mean, frustrating is not the right word.
I mean,
that's like
it's unbelievable. And then so they were all super sad because obviously, but they're like, we had hope that like we would somehow get our money back. And then when this happened, we were like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah, this guy's dead now.
It's totally
He just
gone.
took our money.
Mm-hmm. So
was Jennifer not with him in India?
She was with him. Oh. So the death notice says that he passed away on December 9th, 2018. So that was a whole month before it was announced. So during that entire month, they were still taking new money in.
Also, I'm sorry, if this is a real company, shouldn't they have other people who can like continue to run it?
Exactly.
I think I'm treating this way too like legit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it sounds it because it's legit amounts of money that they're dealing with.
Right.
But it's Bitcoin, so I guess this is where regulation comes in.
Exactly.
Here she is.
So allegedly, and what they still stand by, is that Jerry was the only person that had access to the codes.
So why was he in India? Also, no.
Right. So people think that maybe his wife does and she's lying, or what's going on with that. But so essentially when he died, so did all the Bitcoin. Because
first of all, there's no way that's true. Also, they should be able to find out because can't you see it on the ledgers and stuff?
I'll get to that.
There we go. Look at me remembering a thing.
Yeah, look at that.
So also, when no one ever clarified, why did he die? What was the cause of death?
So this is another sketchy thing.
Oh, here we go.
So while in India, first of all, the announcement was like, he was in India working on building an orphanage for kids.
No, you weren't.
Right.
You were
so immediately everyone's like, what are you talking about?
No, you definitely weren't.
You were faking your death.
You were faking your death.
And
though honestly, India, every person I know who's gone over there from America gets sick.
Yeah.
It's the food, it's just so different. So
right. So
maybe he is dead.
Well, I think people now think, well, we'll get into it. So his death was a result, according to the announcement, of Crohn's disease. So due to complications with Crohn's disease. He famously did have Crohn's disease, but the people that were like Redditing and stuff, they were like, okay, we looked up Crohn's disease. It's a gastrointestinal disease. It's extremely painful to live with. It sucks. I'm not saying that. It's like a horrible thing to have to live with, but it has a mortality rate of 1.6 and even lower for young, otherwise healthy people. So
also, he's really wealthy. At this point, you would anticipate that medical care would be at his fingertips.
I don't know if there's actually... I think you like take a pill every day kind of thing, but I think you have to be really careful about what you eat even still. So if he's in India and that food's fucking him up, like it's unlikely, but it's possible.
What's it called? Deli belly? Isn't that the thing? Is that racist?
That sounds racist.
It's not. No, it's not. Isn't that what it is? Is it? We should check before we have that. No, I think that's just like what they call it. Like it's like Montezuma's Revenge.
Okay.
I think.
God, I hope so.
Or we cut that.
Or it's literally starving kids.
Can we check real quick? I'm curious now.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
Yeah, Irish. Can we get a check on if Laura's racist or not?
Remember when the
I see there's a movie called Belly.
Okay.
He doesn't want to say it.
That's probably just two Americans getting diarrhea.
Huh.
There is a thing that says what is the cause of Delhi belly, and it says it's a colloquial been known by a name of so it's like basically saying Montezuma's revenge.
Okay, good. Okay, we're in the clear.
Or the Nile runs.
Wow, did you see how nervous I just got?
I know.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you that. Yeah, I'm looking it up on Urban Dictionary, which is the source of truth on all things.
That's true.
And it just says diarrhea from eating Indian food.
Okay, great. So we're good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Remember that time that the WeWork guy called what's his name? What's his name? The guy, the SoftBank guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember. Whatever.
Yeah.
Mossy? Something like that. Whatever. But he called him Yoda, and we were like, is that racist?
That felt not good.
But we were like, Yoda is a fictional alien character.
Yeah,
Why is
it has nothing to do with
any region?
There's no race associated with Yoda.
That was an interesting one. Anyway,
man.
the We Were Guys racist, I guess. Who knows?
Probably. And either way, this guy got sick in India. He got an upset stomach. How about that?
He did. Little bloated. Okay, so obviously everyone's fucking freaking out on these little Reddit threads. They're actually on this place called Telegraph, which I had never heard of before. You know that one?
Yeah, isn't that one of the secure messaging apps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Reddit, I think. It's a lot of like
There's a
anonymity, that kind of thing.
Telegraph, there's Signal, there's a bunch of different ones.
Great. So
Because WhatsApp, by the way, owned by Facebook/Meta.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, immediately I'm like, not that I have anything that they need to be checking out. Again,
Right.
I'm looking for people to see my content, actually. So I'll continue to use WhatsApp, but if you're talking about sketchy stuff, don't do it there.
Great. So anyway, thank Life Lessons by Laura.
Yep.
So Tong's freaking the fuck out, obviously. So he's waiting for, his life savings, and basically this new development was like, it's not going to come back. It's not going to come back.
That sucks. I mean,
Mhm.
like, again, putting it lightly, bad.
Bad.
Tong would be, I'd be pissed.
Oh my God.
I'd be more than pissed. I'd be like a mercenary, like immediately.
That's a down payment on like a sick house.
Yeah.
Sick house.
Yeah.
That sucks. Sorry, Tong. Okay, so back to the business reporter at the Globe and Mail. Her editor was like, hey, just like keep an eye out on the story because, obviously the death is sort of suspicious. Everyone's kind of talking about this. Just like, keep your feelers out there. And shortly after his death was announced, Quadriga, the site totally shut down.
Well, I saw that coming for
Right.
sure. They were like, well, he also had the credit card to pay like the website bill, like, for the domain. So, it is what it is.
They're like, or it's an elaborate exit strategy, but okay. So that's when people started to realize that Jerry died alongside the passwords for $190 million worth of cryptocurrency. And some other sources, I saw $215 million worth of cryptocurrency. Long story short, a lot of dollars in cryptocurrency.
Oh my God, Jerry is for sure alive.
And
Living
well,
it up in Delhi Belly.
That's
Sorry.
what everybody thinks.
Damn.
Or thought.
And I mean, why wouldn't he? Wow. That's bold.
Bold.
That is a bold move. You just be like, this is a currency exchange. Give me your cryptocurrency. And then they do, and he's like, goodbye.
Right. And so obviously what you said before, like running an exchange, you would have safeguards in place. So if something happens to you, i.e. you die, someone can access it. So people are like, okay, this does not make any fucking sense. Like this, what is going on here?
Right.
Okay. So then we're introduced to another person who was fucked over by him, this guy, Ali Musavi. So he's just like a regular dude.
UCLA.
And, yep. You went to UCLA maybe, or maybe he's just wearing that hat. I don't know.
Big fan of the
Big
Bruins.
fan.
He looks like an LA guy. No, he doesn't. I don't know. He looks like a normal dude.
He looks like a guy. So he was an AI consultant for Quadriga at one point, and he had $70,000 worth of money in it, and then obviously that
Sure.
didn't go anywhere, or it left.
70,000 is less than 400, so
It's
he's
less.
not as mad as Tong, but he's
Right.
still pissed.
So he had actually worked with Quadriga at one point, so he was like an inside person
Wait.
in this.
Oh my God. Okay, no. You don't get to be mad about the 70,000 if you worked there, sir.
Well, he was just like a consultant for a little while, like an AI consultant. So he had just like met them before. Like
Okay,
it wasn't really
okay.
like he was like in on anything.
Okay, I was going to say. I was like, wait, what?
No.
He probably still has his 70,000 if he's
No. So he, in the documentary, he's like, immediately I call bullshit. I call bullshit immediately when they announced the death. I was like, no fucking way. He doesn't buy the Crohn's disease thing. He was like, the India and the orphanage. What are you talking about? He literally goes, give me a break.
Also, like, if you're running this company, don't build an orphanage in India. Maybe if you want, like, hire someone if that's really a calling, but like, you don't have skills to build an orphanage, sir.
You also have Crohn's disease.
You have Crohn's disease, and you are a white man from Canada who runs a allegedly tech company. Why? What is all these missionaries? What qualifies you to build an orphanage ever?
They have no qualifications.
They
I
have
don't know.
no. Do you know how to build an orphanage?
I don't know how to fucking turn on
Exactly.
this oven.
Why we shouldn't. It'd be like if I went to go and try build an orphanage. Everyone would be like, "You're not helping." Like
Right.
at all.
In fact, we have to redo all the work that you did.
Literally, did you just come here to put a bunch of stuff together and then make yourself feel good and then leave and we have to redo everything? And it's 100%. And then this guy dies and they're like, well, now we have to bury you. Damn it.
So also, this guy found it really suspicious that it was signed by his wife as the executive of his estate. So everyone's like, who even is this wife? No one's even met this fucking wife before.
Yeah, I will give him that one, though, because she probably would be the next one in line.
Yeah.
She is his wife. Like,
that's true.
that one, I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to point this guy.
But it is weird how people that knew him like decently well or like
didn't know her.
Never knew her. They didn't even know he was dating anybody, let alone married. That's kind of weird. That's
weird. But the fact that if he's married, yeah, she's probably going to be the executor on his estate.
Right. So anyway, they're all talking on Telegraph. Tong, Ollie, they're all kind of connecting with other people in their same situation because there's a lot of them. So people want answers, obviously. What the fuck happened to the money? What happened to Jerry, etc. People were totally not convinced that he was the only person with access to the wallet too. So they start like sleuthing around because they're like,
of course.
At the end of our goal is simply to get our money that is our money back. So entering the chat on Telegraph is this guy, 𝐂𝐶XINT, which is going to be such a bitch to say for the rest of this podcast.
What, this guy? This Fox robot looking man?
So he actually, in the documentary, he's like, I want to remain anonymous because I'm just afraid of crypto people, basically, because he knows.
Good call, but also by the fact that he just put his apartment in the background, they'll find him.
Well, I think it's probably not his apartment, right?
Oh my God. I don't want to talk about this, but briefly, did you watch the Don't Fuck with Cats documentary?
Yes, this is similar to that. This is a similar vibe where not
hopefully not, because I don't want to talk about that anymore.
I mean, nobody killed any cats or anything like that, or random tourists either with an ice pick,
but still like picking up the context clues behind an apartment and stuff like that. Right. People get unbelievably sleuthy.
Oh, people sleuth. You know what I would like? If there was like some sort of interactive game where like you could sleuth with other people, but it's not real.
Oh,
because that would be kind of fun. Like just to do that as like a brain exercise. But like I don't actually want to be dabbling with someone's murder and then make wild speculations about someone's life.
It'd be kind of fun if people did like a more benign version where they just take a picture of them in their apartment and be like, "Find me." Yeah.
No, I don't want bitches finding my ass.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Don't put yourself on the app. How is
that benign? Then
people volunteer. People volunteer for it. Some people won't care.
Why would you not care about that? That's insane.
Okay, I guess May's not going to invest. I think it'll be fun.
That's a horrible way to spend your time.
I think it'd be kind of fun. I'm down. If anyone wants to start this with me. Well, I'm not going to do my apartment, but if someone, there's for sure people who'd be like, yeah, find me. And it'd be kind of cute to like go in the background.
No, I would be like, yeah, fine. I'm in Vancouver in front of this building. Find that building. I wouldn't be like.
Oh, you could do that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I guess you don't have to. It doesn't have to be in your apartment.
So back to our story.
Random Shark Tank episode that just hit.
Yeah, right.
May was not investing.
No, it's a horrible, horrible concept. So, okay, so entering the chat, this guy, should I just make a nickname?
Yeah, just call him QC.
QC, there we go. This guy, QC, he's shown in the documentary under a mask because, he's scared. He actually says that he's known people that have been tortured to give up their crypto key. He's like, I personally know people. And
I'm not surprised. But what does he consider torture? Is he like, they tickled me? It was the worst.
Oh my God. Speaking of which, do you remember? Now we're just talking about documentaries. Do you remember a few years ago, there was that documentary about this guy who was a creep and he would invite boys over and tickle them?
No.
Okay.
No, I've never heard of that documentary.
Yeah. I don't remember the context. Maybe he was like, I think it was like
I think I kind of understand I think I can piece together the context.
I think it was like a coach or something. And he would be like, oh, you got to come over. And then they would tickle them.
That was the USA gymnastics team.
Yeah. That's dark.
Sorry. I competed for the US. I get to make one dark joke on it. God damn it.
Dude, I fucking hate being tickled. Do you hate it?
I don't mind it.
What? It's awful.
I'm fine with people finding my apartment. I'm fine with tickling.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Insane.
Like, what's your problem, man? Loosen up, girl. Relax. Live in it.
Do you remember as a kid, I feel like people would be tickling, just like, like they tickle your armpits.
Yeah. People love tickling kids.
That.
I guess that's what the documentary was.
God, I hated that shit.
Yeah.
And you don't have any say 'cause you're like, no, stop. And they think that you're playing. Horrible.
Yeah. But you can't stop laughing, but you're like
In
in
pain.
pain. Yeah.
Tickling sucks.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, so this 𝐂𝐶 guy, he had personally had over $1 million in Quadriga.
Oh, what? This guy's definitely got to be the angriest of. No wonder he's wearing
Yeah.
Fox helmet.
Yeah.
So for people just listening, this guy, the image of him is wearing this like really. He looks like a DJ. Kind
He
of.
looks like Dead Mouse.
He looks like Dead Mouse.
Yeah.
If Dead Mouse was like doing a Fox like robot energy.
Right. He looks cool.
He looks cool. Honestly, I'd listen to his track.
That's what's kind of funny is that he has his voice disguised and you can't see his face. And while I was watching this documentary, I was like, yo, this guy's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Can't even fucking see it.
I mean, I would. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, I heard $1 million. Whoa.
He doesn't have it anymore, May.
That's true. Well, you'd assume he'd have more.
I don't
other
know.
places.
We'll see how smart he is. But yeah, still call me, sir.
Yeah. So he's like furious. So he's like, okay, the next logical step is that we have to look into this this Jennifer character, his wife, Jerry's wife.
Yeah, of course. Find her on Facebook.
Yes.
Add friend.
Right. So they're looking for information. They're obviously convinced that he's not actually dead. They think it was like an elaborate exit plan, obviously. So then they look into the death certificate, and I think the newspaper was the one that obtained that first and was kind of like in cahoots with some of these Telegraph people to get intel. So then the death certificate starts circling around on Telegraph, and they had misspelled his last name as 𝐂𝐿𝐄𝐃, so with an AN instead of cotton.
Was this like an Ellis Island situation? But they were in India, so they were just like, something like that. We don't give a shit. It's Canadians dying.
Maybe, but I mean, wouldn't they just go off of his license?
Probably.
So everyone's like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing? How can that be on such an
You
official
found
document?
another guy with almost the same name and you killed him in India.
Right.
And then you took his death.
And also, obviously, crypto people know better than everybody else that there is a market for fake documents on the dark web.
Absolutely.
So they're like, this.
Also, like, that's not that difficult to forge. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
you can definitely put that together.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
just
have
get your
a
hands
PDF editor. Come on.
right. Just get your hands on another death certificate and copy it.
Yeah, just do a little. Come on.
Right.
It's pretty simple, folks.
I know.
If you have death certificate editing needs, hit May and I up.
Yeah.
Shark Tank, that's another one.
So 𝐂𝐶 connected with someone who knew Jerry personally, and they gave him his Skype name. So he's like, okay, now we got this guy's Skype name. And then he looked into it, and it had shown that it had been active after his death. But I'm like, why would Jerry be so dumb to use his actual Skype name?
People are stupid. Like, especially, listen.
Or maybe it could have been his wife. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been his wife. Like, I will give him that one. Like, everything's so integrated that who knows? Also, who's using Skype? What?
Yeah. I don't know.
Zoom or nothing. Come on.
Totally. You know what I fucking hate? Google Meet.
Oh, you know what? Kills me. Zoom has this very nice beautify function.
It does.
Holy shit. Anytime I go into WebEx,
I'm like,
who is that? Who is she? She looks like shit.
so true. Have you used Microsoft Teams? It's a disaster.
I mean, no, never successfully.
That
Let me
is
tell you
a
that.
Fucking
Every time someone sends it, I'm like, I guess we're not meeting because that's not going to work.
And then every time you share your screen, you share the whole screen. So
Yeah,
I like have
yeah.
like a fucking
Yeah.
I'll have like literally like a presentation up like how to mitigate churn in our clients. I'm like, I'm like, don't look at that.
Also, another one that just came out is, maybe it's out, but Huddle on Slack, where I'm like, I am never going to be sharing screen directly from my Slack. Are you out of your mind?
Whoa.
Are you out of, there has never been a scenario where I wanted my Slack to be on the share screen.
That's a recipe for a firing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I just changed the settings. I'm like, Huddle doesn't work on my computer. It's so weird. Zoom me.
Okay, so now so the Globe starts looking into this a little bit harder because they're like super obsessed with the juxtaposition that he was like this happy, lucky go guy.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
and he was
same.
like, and he's being accused of being like a criminal mastermind,
Yeah.
right? So
I mean, honestly, Mastermind's giving it a lot. It sounds like he just took their money and left.
Yeah.
That was plan A.
That's true. So Jennifer Robinson was now in control of the exchange. So naturally, the group starts looking into her, obviously. So people that knew him didn't know anything about her, that she existed. And then the documentary interviews her sister, who says that her and Jerry were great together. He loved Jenny. And that they met on Tinder in Christmas of 2014. So it's like, dude, they were like together for like 4 years and no one had ever met her.
Yeah, that's weird.
Very weird.
That is weird.
And the sister seems like really standoffish and like,
I'm sure she's not. Again, in her defense, she's probably like, I'm not getting involved.
I
This
know.
sounds like a recipe for disaster.
I'm
I mean,
kind of,
they're going to take her hostage.
but I'm kind of surprised that she would even go on it because like to your point, if they're interviewing her, I'm sure it wasn't her real house though, so whatever. But like, you know, if they were interviewing her in their house, like they could find her. I'm sure they could find her
Absolutely.
anyway with
I'm
sleuthing
sure they
on
can
the
find
internet.
her. Yeah, she's out and about.
Crazy though.
But honestly, like these people are crazy. Like Bitcoin people, I wouldn't be surprised. Depending on who got involved, she could be taken hostage.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. That was silly to go on that documentary.
Not a great look. Okay. So obviously there's also a Reddit post that's going around, a Reddit thread that's going around, and there was a Quadriga contractor. They identified themselves as such. It's like hard to tell if that's actually who they are or not.
Okay.
That was doing an Ask Me Anything. So basically an anonymous leak.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that they said was that they were at his funeral. And so immediately people are like, was it a closed casket? And he was like, yes, it was a closed casket. I never saw a body. And then the documentary pans over to Jen's sister, and she was like, Jen saw the body, but no one else did. And I'm like, okay, well, listen, we got to see this body. So
even if I wouldn't even the body would be like, you killed another guy.
that looks
I'm
exactly
taking
like
this
guy.
like to 11 on each situation. I'm like, she's gonna get kidnapped. God damn it!
I know, right?
You're like, why do you think of that so fast?
So the contractor on Reddit also said that it seems like Jen was, quote, fake grieving. And afterwards, she had a party in her room with her friends with drinking, music, and dancing at her husband's funeral.
Well, probably because she has all the coins. I mean, damn.
I guess so. And then it actually interviewed the sister about that. And because like there was a bunch of apparently Jerry's parents and Jennifer's parents at the funeral got in like this big altercation. And then the sister said that it was because they were partying at the funeral. It's like, yeah.
You shouldn't party at funerals. It's
Don't part. It's so
frowned
crazy to
upon.
think that if you die in India, then your body has to go on that long ass flight back. Crazy.
It's also weird to think that when you're on international flights, or honestly any flight,
there's a body on
there's
it.
probably a couple bodies.
Maybe one.
I don't know.
Maybe two.
Does anybody know? Please write in. What is the average quantity of body
Oh man.
on flight?
That's so
So
crazy.
dark. This has been a dark episode.
Yeah.
Especially international. You hope it doesn't get too hot.
Oh god.
Too much. Okay.
It's such a long flight too, and your body's just there,
Yeah.
decaying.
Oh.
Well, okay, so
Yikes.
anyway, so Jen at one point she actually claimed that that basically Jerry was the only one that could access the funds, and that was like her claim all along, and she said that he was running this company entirely on her own, and she didn't know anything about it at all. But then some sleuths and their news reporters found that there were wire transfers from years earlier that contradicted that statement. So she at least knew a little bit about something. And it's like she was like, I didn't even know what the company did. It's like, yes,
She's
you
just
did.
playing stupid.
Right.
She's like, I'm 23 and I like to party.
Yeah, I like to party at my funeral.
But secretly, she's like a Bitcoin expert in the back end, just like coding everything.
Right.
I love that narrative. I'm gonna
So
make that a thing.
to your point before, where was the money? Was it moving? So obviously,
Yeah.
if the money was moving, that would be like very easily proven false that he was the only one with the.
Yeah, they really. How are they going to pull this one off?
I don't know. So so enter into the scene this other crypto entrepreneur, this lady named Taylor Moynihan,
Okay.
who's like pretty badass. She has like this sick ass house in Malibu. But anyway,
Cool.
So she was like, how is that possible that he's the only one with the keys? Like that doesn't make any sense to me at all. As soon as I heard the story, I was like, nope.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. I agree with this badass.
Yeah. And so she's like, if the money had moved after his death, then like, okay, let's ride, you know? So she explained that a cold wallet is like a savings account online, and a hot wallet is like your checking account for Bitcoin. So usually people put about 10% in the hot wallet, 90% in the cold wallet. So she knew some of the addresses for Quadriga in the blockchain for Quadriga's cold wallet. I'm like so confused as I'm reading this, but so she started there. Point is, she was looking into it. Okay,
yeah. She was control effing.
She was
fine.
Like a motherfucker.
Search, yeah.
Okay.
Google. Where is this Bitcoin?
So,
guys, did anyone try Googling this?
Yeah. She actually spent a few months looking for records in the blockchain, and she realized that there was no money in the cold storage, which meant that there was about 150 million missing and unaccounted for. I don't understand how that works, but she said that, so let's just go with it. So at this point, it's definitely looking like fraud, obviously. So somebody wrote on their messenger boards, he better, because she like then shared this with the Telegraph people, and they go, he better die from shitting his pants now if he hasn't already.
See, shitting his pants. There we go.
There you go. So everyone's like, okay, he could be a citizen in 20 different countries, 20 different faces. Like,
absolutely.
You can
buy passports. You could get reconstructive surgery.
Exactly. So that's what they were saying, actually. There was a conspiracy going around that he had flown to Bermuda and changed his face. Because without those identifiers, he just like, he's like a 5'7".
No, absolutely. I already wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup. He looks like a normal middle-aged white guy.
Right.
It's pretty standard,
So the Reddit thread tried to get the Canadian Securities and Exchange Commission on the case. And
they were like, now you want our help. Right. Oh, that's so funny how all of a sudden.
Yeah, right.
Now you're calling.
I thought Bitcoin was the new whatever.
I thought you didn't want us involved. And all of a sudden, someone just takes your money.
But similar to Don't Fuck with Cats, at first they were like, the money left Canada. What are we going to do about it? They were like,
yeah,
serious?
That is really difficult.
Yeah, exactly. But then they started looking into the company. They realized that in the first few years, Quadriga, wow, man. There were lawyers and accountants on staff. After 2016, though, there was a general absence of any records that you would normally see in a business. And then, so throughout the life of Quadriga, they also noticed that large amounts of crypto assets were being sent to other crypto exchanges in other countries abroad. So why would an exchange be sent directly to another exchange? Probably laundering money.
Okay. And I guess because this is an actual registered, I would imagine, company, they're now all of a sudden they have like stake in the game.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Exactly.
Was Quadriga, I know the site went down, so the company was officially disbanded at that point, or was it just kind of like hanging out?
When he died or in 2016?
Yeah, when he died.
Oh, when he died? Yeah, no, it was like error. This is not a website.
Okay, but like the official company was still technically a thing, or?
That I don't know.
Okay. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I mean, like, were the lawyers just like, they
didn't have lawyers.
Or were there any other people on staff?
No. There was him, the Michael guy. Actually, the Michael guy left in 2016. So I don't know. I think there was just like contractors.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
So they were like, I guess my contract's not getting renewed.
Yeah. I guess I gotta go back to the temp agency.
Guess I'll move it along. Okay.
Pretty fucking crazy. So obviously, if it were laundering money, they would be in some deep shit with some very bad people. Like that would mean that he wouldn't be afraid of the SEC. He'd be afraid of the mob.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm team mob right now.
I know.
Go get them. Go get them, boys.
Okay, so I'm about to tell
and girls.
I'm about to tell you some crazy ass shit. Are you ready for this?
No, but yes.
Oh, madon. So let's go back to his business partner, Jerry's business partner, Michael Patron.
Okay.
So
this is a good callback. They appear in Act 1. They're going to close it out. Here he is.
Yes. So Mike had originally presented himself back in 2014 or whenever was that when they started? Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
As the founder of Quadriga. According to former employees, it always seemed like he was in charge, and they also had a really weird relationship where Jerry would laugh at Mike's jokes even if they weren't funny, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's like our podcast.
Right.
Like, May, laugh at me, damn it.
And then everyone in the doc seems like super afraid to talk about him. Like they were like, we did not want to be interviewed for this part. Like he was like a super scary guy. So And then the sleuths start looking into this guy's background, right? So a rumor started that Michael Payton was actually a person by the name of Omar Delnani, who was an ex-criminal that had been involved in money laundering services for an identity theft ring called Shadow Crew. So he had spent time in prison for that. So then a reporter...
And then he just got a job at this exchange.
Yeah. So...
You can literally do... I'm inspired.
Yeah.
You can literally do anything you want.
Yeah.
Just lie.
Just lie.
Holy shit.
But
meanwhile, I'm like, I might not be, qualified for the manager role yet. I don't know.
Well, I think, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, but I think that Jerry actually liked that about him. So
okay.
They might have been in cahoots together. So anyway, so the reporters on the case found the mugshot for Omar and then compared a photo of Michael. And what they noticed, it's kind of not that great of resolution, but in the mugshot, see that little chicken pox indentation?
Yeah, up on the top.
It's in the exact same spot as the current photo. So
well, Harry Potter.
Exactly. Yeah, right?
Found him. Found you. Boy
So
who lived.
they're like, this is the same person.
Boy who scammed. This is him.
That is totally the same fucking person. So now they have confirmed that they're definitely the same guy. And then so at this point, Tong and his crew are like, what the fuck, dude? If we had known that, we would have never put our money into Quadriga. We didn't know that the person running it was literally convicted.
A felon.
Literally convicted of stealing money from people in a scam. Insane.
You guys should have done your due diligence. Let me tell you that.
I know. So then Michael Patron, or somebody by the name of Michael Patron, joins the Telegraph group.
Shut the fuck. All right, that's probably a troll though.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's the only funny thing to do at that point is just be like, I'm gonna pretend to be.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get in there and just ruffle some feathers.
Okay. So then this Michael Patron joins the Telegraph group. So immediately people are like, hi, Omar. What are you doing here? Asking him, they're like, when's the last time you talked to Jerry, etc. And then he goes, Jerry and I haven't been in contact since I left the company in 2016. He maintains that he was a legitimate businessman. And then when people asked about Jerry's death and whether or not he thought it was real, he responded, I didn't believe he died when I read about it the way it was announced. So
So he thought he was dead, but in a different way, or
I think he just didn't think he was dead at all.
Okay.
So then people also asked him, do you know Jen? And he said that he didn't know Jerry was married and he had only talked to her in January when the death was announced. So again,
is Jen the mastermind?
Maybe.
Kind of feeling it.
So this is, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. There's so many twists. Okay. So Michael Patron, or Omar, however you want to call him, he was very active on a site called Talk Gold, which was a forum for investment scams or people trying to dodge other people's scams. So scammers would get together and discuss how to screw people.
This is just a website? Gonna be the next episode's gonna be brought to you by Talk Gold. Let me tell you that. I'm gonna be perusing that later on.
So one of the investigators on the case at the newspaper, there's all these people working together. It's very similar to Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yeah.
They noticed that on Patron's post, there was this buddy of his named Scepter, who was also extremely active on Talk Gold, and a lot of their posts, they interacted with each other, and that they seemed to sort of be supporting each other. So Scepter had scams running through Talk Gold that were essentially a Ponzi scheme, and then they had a Ponzi scheme running and then shut it down entirely, taking a bunch of people's money. So that's what this guy Scepter did. He was open about it on Talk Gold.
That's wild.
Wild.
Again, just the boldness. Every time we talk about one of these things, the boldness is what surprises me. Elizabeth Holmes just lied.
Bold. Bold-faced lies.
Yeah.
So QC and the other investigators are now obsessed with trying to find out who Scepter is. So then QC goes on this other site called Black Hat Hacker.
Okay.
So basically, obviously, white hat hackers are good guys trying to sleuth for good things, and then black hat hackers will do dirty work.
There's a big conference in Vegas every year called Black Hat. And
Really?
it's actually the only conference I enjoy Truly, because it's really interesting. You're not allowed to, like, you shouldn't bring your real phones in a lot of the scenarios. There's also this connected one called DEF CON where they'll like live try to hack into companies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. I think you told me about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does seem really cool.
Yeah, that's the only. But it's in Vegas in August. And I'm
Are
like,
you going to go?
I mean, probably.
You should go.
I've been before.
I would get my bank account stolen.
I know. Well, that's the whole thing is they try to embarrass each other by like hacking into each other. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's very funny when you just like fuck with each other's stuff.
Just siphon.
Just you know,
thousands of dollars.
I took your life savings. Haha. Your wife's now married to me.
So QC noticed that there was an account named Scepter on Black Hat, and that at some point they had actually changed their name to Murdoch 1337. So I know, right? So QC and the investigators start emailing people on Black Hat to see what email account this person was using, and so they obtained an order form from that account that was totally filled out, and it was Gerald Cotton.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
But this was from before his death, to be clear. So this is not,
okay. I mean, still bad.
But Jerry was Scepter.
Oh.
So now both founders confirmed had shady past because Scepter ran that pyramid scheme and Omar had done that crazy identity theft thing.
Oh my God, match made in heaven.
I know. And they met on, I assume, Talk Gold.
Probably some forum,
Right.
met up, and they were like, what if we just literally, hear me out, just take their money and leave?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, break.
Right. So everyone, like, you see Tong and he's just like so defeated. He's like, oh my God. He's like, both founders were like shitty people. And I was like so shocked because Jerry comes off as like this likable nerd, this like goofball. And a Scepter is like a glimpse at the darker side of Jerry that had been operating scams through some sort of like Scepter account in that pyramid scheme since he was 14.
Wow.
We got a savant on our hands.
We got an entrepreneur.
I know.
I mean, a little impressed.
Fucking crazy, though. And then so what had happened is that Scepter posted on Talk Gold 3 months before Quadriga was created about hiring someone for his new crypto website. So Michael or Omar was the one who answered since they were already online friends. And then they archetyped this from the very fucking beginning to be a scam.
Oh my God.
Can you believe this story?
No. It's so crazy that that's real. I have trouble with stories like this. Like, that's happening. Like, that happened a couple years ago. We were just drinking in New York.
Oh, yeah. I was just getting fat.
Yeah, just drinking, having wine. And this guy, listen, this is why hustle culture. This will get you. Fake face.
You have to be, like, stiffing people out of money from the time that you're in diapers.
14. Yeah, it's very difficult to get ahead nowadays. The kids, oh my God, it's so competitive.
I know.
Even I couldn't even be a successful criminal.
Oh my God, no. I would get caught immediately. I'd be like, can I airdrop this to you?
Or
please?
I wouldn't be able to steal anything from people. Like, it's like the competition in crime is out of control.
It's really hard to do. It's
Kids
way
are starting
harder
at
than
14.
Honestly, crime is way harder than a legitimate job.
Yeah, that's fame. Yeah.
Way harder.
Just do sales, dude. Like,
yeah, but then,
yeah, it's not as exciting.
Yeah. So everyone's like, okay, all this information is fucking crazy and makes us believe that he's alive even harder. So they're like, if he's alive, we can get him and we can maybe get our money back. So with all this new information, the Globe and Mail decides to send a reporter to India to investigate. So he goes to the hospital and he interviews the doctor that was there that day. And the doctor said that the initial diagnosis was nothing more than traveler's diarrhea, which you know about. And that
that's what I will be calling it from now is traveler's diarrhea.
And that Jennifer and Jerry stayed in a private room together. So sometime around noon the next day, he was deteriorating, and at 2:45 he went into cardiac arrest, which he went into 3 times, and they were able to resuscitate him, and then on the third time they could not. 7:26 p.m. he was declared dead. So
okay, that sounds pretty.
Yeah, it sounds pretty legit. The reporter showed a photo just in case to the doctor and was like, "We're talking about the same guy, right?"
Right.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy." So then the Reddit chat was like, "Okay, he did."
Okay.
Like people were, and now now like Tong gets like more and more depressed as because he's like, I thought it was like hopeful I get my money back, and now I'm like, oh.
We need to start a GoFundMe for Tong.
I know, right? So I'm surprised somebody hasn't. Maybe he has. I don't know. But no autopsy was ever done on Mr. Cotton. So now the conspiracy theory people are thinking, they're like, does Jennifer have something to do with this? How does a 30-year-old drop dead from diarrhea?
Yeah. Well, listen, I got Montezuma's Revenge in Mexico a couple months ago, and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
It was close.
And I guess like also with the Crohn's disease, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't have Crohn's disease, thankfully. So, but I mean, it was like a little sketchy just because he was so young.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Jennifer's there like, I had the same dish.
Right.
I feel fine.
So, his will starts to get like all these like, as the documentary unfolded, I'm like, how do we not get our hands on the will immediately?
Right, exactly.
So anyway, they finally get their hands on the will. And what they realized is that he had signed the will 2 weeks before he had mysteriously died and left all his money and assets to Jennifer.
Oh my. Jennifer. Okay.
I know.
Okay, spicy.
Assets that are worth up to $10 million plus like a shitload of crypto.
Damn.
I know.
No wonder she was drinking.
I know. So
she's like 2 weeks. I just scooted under that.
Yeah. So now people think that it was foul play and that she might have the keys to the money. And they also noted that she changed her name 3 times in the span of 2 to 3 years. First, she was Jennifer Griffith, then she was Jennifer Forgerson, and then Robertson. So Redditors uncovered then that there had been a Michael Forgerson who died under suspicious circumstances years earlier when that was her name.
So she just got married 3 different, or she was.
Well, she was the regular name, the maiden name, Ferguson, and then Robertson's not even his fucking last name.
Oh my God. Is she killing?
I don't know, dude.
What? Is this girl? Oh my God.
Crazy.
We shouldn't talk about her. I'm scared of her.
I know, right? But
Jennifer.
So then
never mind. You're great.
Yeah, her sister was like, no, her ex-husband's like alive and well, so that was kind of like debunked. But
no, I like the better.
I like the Michael Forgerson. She killed her.
Yeah.
She killed him a little bit better. But anyway, so Jen had death threats against her, which is not cool, and people were doxing her. Not great.
Yeah.
Especially if she's just like an innocent bystander, but it's just such weird circumstances.
Yeah.
I don't know. And she never was like, I'm sorry, everyone. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I'm sure her lawyers are like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. They're probably like, why are you talking in the first place? Holy crap. Back down.
Well, she isn't talking. She wasn't in the doc. Her sister was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, so her ex-husband is alive and well and was not named Michael, so that was not the same Michael Forgerson, but it's still kind of funny that they thought that. So now people are continuing to fight this legal battle and try to have his body exhumed as they believe that his death was a cut-and-run scam. So Cotton's widow, like we said, she rarely speaks publicly, but in an affidavit, she described herself as being a subject to slanderous comments over accusations her husband faked his death. So that is true. We're doing that literally right now. Sorry.
We are quoting
we're
quoting
slanderous comments. I didn't invent this, okay?
No.
Anyway, she also denies any knowledge of her husband's wrongdoing. And, I did not know this. She returned $9 million to the company to repay users. How do you have access to the money then? I don't get it.
I think that was probably the $10 million he had left. And then,
I see.
So no, you didn't, lady. You have the money for sure. That more than anything, that convinces me because $10 million's like, I mean, it's obviously a lot, but it's not that much. And if she's used to 5-star resorts and like,
yeah.
Plus, what better way to get people off your trail? Like, okay, here's the money.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
Totally.
Absolutely.
So this is like fascinating to me. And so a lot of people are trying to get his body exhumed to get that autopsy going. And then what they said in the documentary, they were like, these types of people on Reddit and on Telegraph, like if they exhumed the body, confirmed it was him, they'd be like, oh, they paid someone to lie about that. So like they're right about that. They're never going to be
happy.
But I mean,
okay, no, they also get to ask the questions because you stole their money.
Right.
Or lost their money.
So
exhume the fucking body. I don't know.
Agree. Also, anybody
I'm Team Reddit.
Any 30-year-old that drops dead like that, it's like, what are we doing here?
This is no. I know a scam when I see one.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
How crazy.
This is insane, and I'm sure it's not done.
No, it's done.
You think?
Oh, I mean.
Oh, no. Yes,
the
for the
sake
pod,
of the
but like in the
podcast, yeah.
world. No, they're going to keep on. I want Tong to get his revenge so bad. I hope we get to revisit this episode and do like a part 2, and it's part 2, Tong's revenge.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's the dream.
I know. Poor Tong.
I know.
I hope that after the documentary comes out, though, somebody set up something for him, and at least he like recoups,
Yeah, all the other people are
$100,000.
like, well, I didn't get to get invited to the documentary to look sad.
Yeah, right? Totally.
He just
Fuck. Yeah, he looks bummed.
He did.
Okay.
That was fascinating. Oh my God.
I know.
And
Yeah.
also, like with crypto exchanges, I feel like if they had just tweeted enough about it, I would be like, this seems legit. Yeah, you
Right.
can take my money.
It was legit. I mean, especially in that world. Like, people, I mean, it was not legit.
It was not legit.
It was not legit. But people like in that world were like, oh, this is how you move crypto.
This is how you get ahead.
This is the way to do it.
And especially if he was talking at conferences.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Can't trust anybody. Actually, the documentary is called Trust No One.
There you go. Wow.
So, yeah. Be careful out there, everybody. Do not transfer $400,000 into any account.
Well, if you have Bitcoin right now, you lost a lot of money already. So
God bless.
God bless. It's been a rough week for a lot of people.
Totally. Okay, well, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you.
Yep, we'll
Some
be
other time.
talking about Elon or whatever, Terra next week, the Bitcoin crash. We'll be going
okay.
into that in more detail. And yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks so
Bye.
much. Bye.